And then we are recording this as well. So we will have the video of this panel uploaded as well. Going ahead and getting started, I'm going to share our presentation here. Here we go. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Great. So again, we are the Mosaic Cross-Cultural Center. We are a resource, an identity-based resource center. We've been around for about 22, 23 years on campus. We are a center that's dedicated to doing diversity and social justice education work. Really, we're here to do advocacy work for our students, trying to provide student support, student belongingness, and our staff is going to talk in depth about what that means. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the mission of what we do. We serve as a support resource for the concerns and needs of students from marginalized or underrepresented groups. I know that, for a lot of the students that come through Mosaic that we work with us, that we advocate for, provide support for, a lot of our students might come from backgrounds where they're first generation students, low income students, who just didn't have any representation in the schools that they had in K through 12. The teachers didn't look like them, their classmates didn't look like them, their experiences at home differed from their classmates. A lot of that stuff can make it very difficult to be a successful student. In order for students to be successful, it's important for students to have folks that they can relate to and have places where they can share their stories. And for us at Mosaic, we believe very strongly in not just identity work, but narrative work. And it's a real important part of what we do to help students understand their own stories, build upon their own stories, and be able to integrate their stories and identity into their leadership work, into their community, back into the school, back into where they grew up. So a lot of what we do is really about this narrative and identity building. But first off, let's have Sharon talk a little bit about our physical resources.
Yeah, so we are a physical resource space. And so some of the resources that we have, and you can kind of see it in pictures, is we have computers available along the back wall. We have a water station with hot water. We have a microwave that you can use. And then you can see we have tables and chairs, and you can come in, you can eat your meal there, you can study there. We also have a conference room that's reservable. And so if you have study sessions or any type of meetings for your student orgs, that can be reserved. And then we do have a meditation prayer space that's really popular with our Muslim students. It's the only space on our campus currently that has a washing area. So you can kind of see what the inside looks like. And there's a system so that folks can kind of go in and out, that our staff kind of helps to take care of. And then we partner a lot with the Muslim Student Association to make sure that the space is running to the needs of our students. If you don't identify as Muslim, you can totally use the space. It's open to everybody. We have students come in and just have time to themselves and chill in there, especially if you have anxiety or you do yoga or meditation. You can reserve the space as well. Just let us know and we can work with you. What else? And then we have this open center space that you could see in the previous pictures. This is where we hold our programs and events. And we have, space for you all, especially student orgs. If you ever decide to join a student org, who can reserve the space and we'll work with you. We also have a social justice library, which you can actually see in the corner right there. And it has a lot of books and DVDs and articles that has to do with um, race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, any of the big social identity topics. We try to have books in there, especially from artists or folks who have come and done programs with us and have written a book. So we usually have something in there from them. And then we have, when you enter, we have this huge bulletin board with different events happening on and off campus, and internship, fellowship, job opportunities, all kind of posted there as well. Yeah. Did I miss anything?
No, that's great. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
So next up, Olivia, I believe you're on the call. If you could talk a little bit about this program that you and Terrell did.
Hi, everyone. Me and my coworker Tyrell, who maybe will come on the call later, we did a program last semester together called Art as Protest, Art as Revolution, and we were just exploring art as like a tool for communication, and like historically through different social movements, how art played like a pivotal role in like communicating what was going on or what was needed, in these various movements. And it was really fun to work on a program with a partner. I really liked doing that because I got to know Tyrell really well in the process. And the program itself was cool because we talked about a bunch of different art pieces with some people. And then after they left, we did like a block printing project so everyone could make their own art afterwards. And I love making block prints, so I was able to like teach everyone a little bit how to do it, and we made a bunch of art at the end of it. It was a really nice program.
Great. Thank you, Olivia. And then if we could have Cynthia talk a little bit about our Heritage Months.
Hi. So Mosaic does like collaborates with like different centers for the Heritage Month. So we celebrate like Black History Month, APITA Heritage Month, which stands for Asian Pacific Islander Desi American, Latinx Heritage Month, and then Native American Heritage Month. We'll collab with like the African American Black Student Success Center or the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center for those, and then the Native American Student Organization. And we do different events. We'll have film series, open mics cater to the Heritage Months. We'll also do like different programs. We had an Alebrije program by one of our faculty fellows. And then for some of the, and then for Native American students, we had a graduation ceremony for them last year. But those are just some of the things we do for those months.
Great. And then if we could have Kenny talk a little bit about our open mics.
Sorry, y'all. So open mics, that's a program that we do like pretty often. We do them like the first Thursday of every month. It's basically like we open up a space around the student union, like you see in the pictures. We just kind of set up like mics, some light stuff, speakers, and we just open up space for people in the community to come and share some of their art. So seeing people do like dances, they perform songs, like poetry that they're working on. And it's just like a cool night. People get to come together and just kind of feel the warmth of everybody. I think it's something that people like look forward to. Like the first open mic of the year is always like packed with hella people, just trying to see what's going on. And then like the months after, they kind of continue. And like Cynthia said earlier, we kind of, whatever month we're celebrating, whatever Heritage Month we're celebrating, we kind of keep that on theme. So we'll have Black History Month open mics in February, Latinx Heritage Month nights, open mic nights, and then so on and so forth with the other Heritage Months. Uh, and yeah, it's really cool. This semester we got to do a Women's History / Trans Day of Visibility open mic, which was really cool. We got a poet to come. Sometimes we have like different poets or artists come to feature their art in the night. So it's really cool. I really like it. You get to meet a lot of cool people. And yeah.
Great. Thank you, Kenny. Next we have LT. Cynthia, Kenny, whoever wants to take this.
I can start. Okay. Yeah. So LT is a 3-day, 2-night retreat that we do in the spring semester. And it's basically like you get to pack your bags, go away, and you get to kind of learn, like develop an identity, your identity, not a identity. Wow. And you get to like do a little bit of leadership skills as well. And also get to learn about some social justice issues or topics that you might be interested in. We have 2 great facilitators that come and they talk, and they're very patient and knowledgeable, and they're just very smart, good to talk to and listen to. You also get to eat some good food. And you also get to make a lot of friends. Like, I went my first year. I'm a second year. I went my first year, and I got to like make a lot of friends there. I got to meet Sharon and Chris and Erica and Cheyenne, who's another cultural programmer that works with us. And you just get to have a good time with people, meet people, and I don't know if I'm missing anything. Oh, we have a bunch of leaders, so we'll have peer mentors. You can see if Cynthia wants to talk more about that. She can. I don't know if she's.
Hi. Yeah, I could talk about that. But basically, like what Kenny was saying, it's a really cool way to kind of just leave San Jose State for a weekend and to like meet new people, like learn a little bit more about yourself and others. And then like any new skills that you learn, how do you take that back to school after that weekend is over? But I went as a 3rd year as a participant, and then my 4th year, which was this year, I went as a peer mentor. So I got to work with different like pro staff as well as like other students, which is really cool, and allowed me to learn a lot more about myself and how to be patient with like other people who are still learning. But leadership today was a really cool opportunity to go like both years in the spring. I don't know if Kenny mentioned that, but it's a really cool way just to like learn more about yourself, and it's not like something you're learning every day in your classrooms. And it's welcome to like every major. Undergrads and graduate students are allowed to go, so it's also a cool way to like meet people who aren't necessarily in like your grade or your year.
And it's free.
Free.
Yeah.
And
Also,
food and all that is covered.
yeah. Also, Jazz did join our panel. Jazz, do you want to introduce yourself real quick and then talk a little bit about your experience with LT this year?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. Okay. Yeah, so this year was my first year going to LT, and it was very last minute. I didn't think I was gonna go, but based on other people's experiences, I was really encouraged to. And yeah, I had a really great time just being out in nature and kind of like using that time to cleanse from like being on social media and really just interacting with like other students who haven't had experiences like this. So yeah, it was a very reflective experience. I know I grew a lot out of it, and other people also did. So yeah, you get to build a lot of connections and learn how to embrace yourself more. So yeah, I would definitely encourage anybody else to go and sign up for this, and it's free, like everyone was saying. So yeah, take advantage of these opportunities if you can.
Great, thanks. And then we have our podcast. Does anyone want to talk about our podcasts?
Well, podcasts. We have like a station, a channel on. Is it just on Apple, the Apple thing, or is it on?
It's on Apple, Blueberry, Pocket Casts, and I'm trying to add it on Spotify, but it needs a little bit editing. Soon to come to Spotify.
Yes, all of those. People like we usually just if we have a topic that we want to talk about, or just something that we're interested that we don't want to maybe do a full program on it, we could do a podcast. So like Chris is part of the Men Creating Change group, so they'll do podcasts every Friday, I think, and then they'll post those. Every other Friday. I'm sorry. And also just if students from the center want to come and be like, hey, I have this idea for a podcast, like, could y'all help me out? And be like, yeah. And we'll like talk about it, we'll plan it, then we'll do it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so there was a question that was in the chat earlier about what time we do our programs and when we do these programs. And, you know, a lot of our in-person programs we do, you know, on a specific day, on a specific time. And we try to vary that up so that it's not always the same day and time. And we've been looking for new ways of trying to engage with students who might not be able to come because they're working or they're taking a lot of classes or they have clubs that they're trying to do or other things that they're trying to do. So one of the ways that we've been doing this is we have a podcast. So one of the cool things about podcasts is that, you know, you can listen to it whenever. And so we have now 35 different episodes on our feed, soon to be more because there are a couple in the queue that haven't been edited and posted yet. But they talk about all sorts of stuff. We've had interviews with guests. We've had recordings of panels. And just this month, we're starting to do a PETA Heritage Month programs on our podcast. So we had a panel with some faculty members, as well as a panel with CAPS counselors talking about mental health in the PETA community. So it's one of the best ways to see what we're doing without actually having to physically come to one of our programs.
And it's the easiest way if you want to volunteer with us and get more experience, you know, put some skill sets on that resume, which are all about encouraging. It's one of the easiest way to say, like, you know how to do research and have more skills around something like this.
And then finally we have Hiphop for Change. If we have some folks who want to talk about Hiphop for Change, Erica, Jazz.
So pretty much Hiphop for Change is like a program that kind of consists of like different series of programs, and then also a like a summit in the spring. And pretty much what Hiphop for Change is that we like explore different elements of hip hop as it kind of like pertains to like social justice. So we like so like every year we'll have like a different theme that kind of like goes along with something. So like this year we're doing our Hip Hop for Change Summit a little differently, so it's gonna be like virtually, but our theme is like vibes. I think it's like an acronym. I don't know, like someone wants to know that.
Oh, I forgot what it stands for.
I gotta think about it.
Variations in beats. I forgot what the E and the S stands for, but yeah.
Shout out to Isabel for coming up with the acronym.
Yeah, but pretty much like we were wanting to explore like different I guess like different vibes in hip hop or something. Honestly, kind of forgot, but yeah, but like in years past, we've had different themes like why am I blanking out? What was last year's theme?
Out of the Shadows, right?
Yeah, Out of the Shadows. So like the video you see here is from a an artist from LA called La Marea, and pretty much like she just kind of like explores her own story, I guess, like, you know, out of the shadows through like hip hop and through like lyricism and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on Hip Hop for Change.
Yeah, well, last year that event was one of the first Mosaic events I went to, and it was really cool because with the timing of everything, I had just become a DJ at our school radio station, 90.5 FM KSJS, and so that already allowed me to really connect with other students through music, and just having an event like this exist and like for Mosaic to put it on just felt really inviting and welcoming and really encouraged me to I don't know, maybe like get more involved, which I did this year. And so, yeah, it was a really great experience just seeing like folks come out to support that and just learn more about hip hop and why people do the things they do, what stories they have to share, what narratives they can share with everyone. And yeah, just like the resilience in the community and that like whole sense that they bring was really cool. So yeah, check out our social media this month, or yeah, in the next upcoming weeks. We're gonna be doing Hip Hop for Change through our Instagram and hopefully reaching out to some local artists. If y'all have, you know, anybody that you would recommend, definitely share that with us too. But yeah, that's Hip Hop for Change in my experience.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. And so that's kind of a good summation of some of the work that we do. As you can see, we really do focus a lot on our identity development, on narrative building, on advocating for students, making sure that students have a voice. You know, there were some questions on the chat about, you know, how to reach us and stuff. Our website is pretty much up to date right now. And, you know, we do keep it consistently up to date. It's a place where you can find some of our online forums and different ways to engage with us, as well as some contact info. And another good way to reach us is through social media. Our social media is super active. Shout out to Jazz as our social media liaison. And all of our staff for contributing to stuff like the Music Mondays that you heard when we started. That was the music that was playing in the background, was our Spotify playlist. So if you want to see some of the stuff that we're doing, check us out on Instagram, check us out on YouTube. You know, we have stuff going on there. And then if you want to reach out, particularly right now, I know that, you know, we might not be able to answer all of your questions. We're going to go into questions right after this. We might not be able to answer all your questions, or you might have more questions about who we are or what we do for campus, or ways you can connect with us. Please reach out to me, reach out to Sharon. That's what we're here for. We're happy to get your emails. We're happy to hear from you. And so thank you so much for attending. I'm going to stop this sharing and switch to gallery mode. So if there are any questions, I did want to bring up one question that was in our Q&A that I said, oh, hey, Terrell's joined us too. Awesome. I did want to bring up one question that was shared with us that I said I would answer. So when we were talking about the different heritage months, one of the questions that came up was, what about students from Arabic descent or heritage, or students from the Middle East? And, you know, that's a great question. The fact of the matter is we don't have organized support on campus specifically devoted for Middle Eastern students. But we do have, one, we have student organizations. We have amazing student organizations that a lot of our students are part of. A lot of our student organizations that are identity-based center around a lot of different sort of identities. So there's definitely the possibility of joining an org that, you know, may relate to what you care about or your own background or heritage. And two is that our center does work very closely with some of our student organizations and some of our students. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of our Muslim students stop through because of the prayer space. We do work closely with students particularly the Middle Eastern students around our programs and different collabs, whether it's Palestinian students or whether it's Muslim students or Jewish students. We have a lot of students from kind of the Middle East that stop by the Mosaic Cross-Cultural Center. So if you're looking for campus support, we're definitely a resource for you, and we're happy to work with you or chat with you about what we can provide. I see we have a few more questions.
Yeah. So the other question is, do you have any club traditions?
We don't have any club traditions, but I think Tyrell might actually be the perfect person to talk about in terms of ways that we work with clubs, including clubs like Akbayan and other clubs. So Tyrell, you wanna introduce yourself real quick and talk a little bit about clubs?
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, I just got here because I was having some technical difficulties. But first off, my name is Tyrell. I'm a cultural programmer for the Mosaic. And in terms of club traditions, a lot of the club traditions are like ran by the student organizations that are within our campus. Like I know like Agbayan does like their own field grad commencements, and like they do their thing called like and like a lot of these organizations have like their cultural nights, just like nights where they're like showcasing like their culture through dance, art, choir, acting. So to really get in touch with those organizations, we have a lot of those connections. So you can always just visit the Mosaic and find those connections through the cultural programmers and stuff. So
thank you, Terrell. We also had another question or multiple questions about joining Mosaic. And Sharon, do you want to talk a little bit about whether or not people need to join Mosaic, as well as anybody who might be interested in working for Mosaic at some point?
Yeah. So I think folks often get confused thinking that we're like a club ourselves, because we work so closely with student clubs, and we're very much run by our student staff, right? Our cultural programmers and our marketing team. But we're actually a department on campus, and so you don't have to join. The resources that we provide, the information, the events, the programs, they're all open to you as long as you're an SGA student and a community member that you need support. We'll be here for you. So you don't need to technically join at any given point. Definitely come talk to us though, because we want to get to know all of you. But as far as like any type of like logistic or formal way of checking into the center is, we do have a laptop at our front desk where you scan your ID or you type in your student ID at least once in a day. That helps us kind of keep track of how many folks are visiting us in that day. And then also if you need support and you want to be part of our mailing list, you can totally connect with us in that way, and we send out newsletters. The best way is to follow us on our Instagram as well. And then there's an app called the Sammy app, which we also post events and job listings and everything that we're doing on campus as well. To work with us, we really ask that you have at least a semester or full year on campus, right? So a lot of the work that Olivia, Cheyenne, Jazz, Kenny, Erica, Tyrell, and anybody else that's working with us are doing is that they are your peer resource, right? So in order for you to be a peer resource, we want you to have some time to acclimate to campus, to really know kind of how you're navigating or how to navigate your majors or your college. Get involved with some student orgs, figure it out that first year. And then we put out applications usually in the middle of the spring semester, and we try to finish up our hiring before May. That's probably going to look a little different with COVID, but that's kind of our timeline. And in order to work with us, you have to be able to work the full academic year with us in the position. At least for a year, and then we evaluate if you want to come back. Our positions are really meant to serve as a stepping stone for you. We want you to take the skill sets and the tools that you learn and apply it to your future goals. Yes, these are paid positions. With us, we very much believe in paying students for their hard-earned work, and we also try to make sure that any positions, internships, fellowships that we're marketing, we try to put as many of the paid opportunities, even if it's not with us, out there through our newsletters and our social media. So the best way to really find these paid positions on campus or off campus, connect with us, get in our social media, get in our newsletters. Did I forget anything?
No, I just want to say, sometimes, it's a pretty competitive pool for hiring folks. We don't always hire everybody because we just don't have all the spots. So if you don't get hired, don't feel bad. But you can always work with us. Like, just because you're not in a staff position doesn't mean that you can't also volunteer, or you can't also, work with us as far as being a liaison for stuff. Like was talked about, we love working with clubs. We love working with students. We love working with different departments. So a lot of the people who we work with do have other connections on campus, and we like making those connections.
There was a question around, do you know or recommend any scholarships available to minority students?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did answer that question on the Q&A part. I just want to say, while we don't formally have any scholarships that come out of us or that we help facilitate, one is we do share whatever information we have. And that includes collecting information around the campus, as well as other organizations off campus that we have connections with. One way to get involved with that is we do have an email newsletter. If you want to subscribe to our newsletter, for now, the easiest way is just send an email to mosaic@sjsu.edu and say, I want to be part of the newsletter, and we'll add you. It goes out at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on how much stuff there is to share. And any sort of internship opportunities, job opportunities, scholarships, any sort of opportunities like that, we'll put in the newsletter. The other thing is, we work closely with other departments and other campus departments. We are happy to redirect you to whatever campus department might be appropriate for your situation. So what I wrote in the Q&A is, feel free to email me, feel free to email Sharon. Let us know what you're looking for, and we'll try our best to figure out what we can do, directing you to the right place.
Another question that we have is, where can I get more information about student organizations? A lot of our student organizations, you have to register through our student involvement department. I believe there's roughly 400 plus student orgs. So they would be the best folks to connect with. I think they have a session today too.
It was earlier today.
It was earlier today, yeah.
I was thinking maybe Cynthia might be a good person to talk about student organizations a little bit.
Kind of like how Sharon was saying. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Kind of like how Sharon was saying, we have over 400 student recognized organizations on campus. Student involvement is close to where Mosaic is at. It's within the student union, but there's different like faculty or pro staff who are there to support like student orgs, and they have like different like workshops on like how to build like leadership within your org. But yeah, there's basically like a club for everyone, and in the fall and the spring they have like a week where they have like different orgs tabling, and they also have like a day just to table throughout the whole like day around the school. I don't know what it's called. It's during the weeks of welcome.
It's like a club
org
day.
Fair.
Yeah, org fair.
Org fair. There we go.
Yeah, and they may do it. It's usually outside in front of our tower lawn, and you'll find like almost all of the student orgs that are active that academic year come out. I don't know what it looks like for the upcoming fall. But either way, whatever information that we'll have, we'll make sure we'll post it in our newsletters or in our social media posts. So if you follow us on Instagram, we'll definitely make sure that we're cross-marketing all of the different student orgs and different departments at SJSU.
Yeah, I think also like just coming into Mosaic and like asking one of our student staff members like, hey, like I'm looking for like a club kind of around this, and like we usually, I think in most cases we usually find someone to connect you to. Because I guess when when I was a first year, I was really like wanting to like get involved, and around like my second semester, and so I just kind of like was walking around the centers and like asking like people at Mosaic and people at like the Cesar Chavez Action Center, like, hey, like these are issues that I'm passionate about and I kind of want to get involved. Like, is there any like student organizations around here that like, you know, you might know of? And like they immediately like put me in contact with someone, and like and yeah, like I've been involved in those clubs ever since. And like, so like even just like asking.
Yeah, on top of that, like Sharon said, with the physical resources, we have that bulletin when you walk into the center. Most orgs and clubs, they like post up their flyers whenever they're meeting, all the information that they want to give. So if you miss any at the org fair and you come to the center and you look on the bulletin, we might have some that you might be interested in.
Yeah, and we also have a TV that has all the different information of student orgs and events happening as well. So we have like like multiple different types of visual flyers and marketing going on about our student orgs and different events.
And then we also, we also flyer like different like centers outside of San Jose State, like community members. If you want to get involved more with like, not the school community, San Jose State community, but more like the San Jose City community.
Yeah, so like we have the Peace and Justice Center, like right down the street. We have different like orgs, debug, and we you know are happy to partner and work with them.
Great. So thank you, everyone. I just want to do a quick time check. It is 4:45. That's the time that this session is supposed to be over. We will still be signed in for the next 15 or so minutes. We can still answer questions or talk about whatever it is that y'all want to talk about. But if you're hoping to get to the next webinar, just wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah. Thanks all for joining.
Thank you all for joining.
We did have another question. What's the difference between a student org and a club? Is MSA a student organization?
Yes, sorry. Follow us on Instagram. Sorry, answering Q&A question. MSA is an official student organization. It is mostly students, almost all students. They do have a faculty advisor. All of the clubs need a faculty or a staff advisor. It's a fairly large club, I would say, MSA on our campus. They're definitely active.
Like 200 people show up sometimes for their event.
Yeah, it's really cool, actually. They do a lot of great work. And we do work closely with MSA. So if you're interested in getting to know more about MSA specifically, feel free to hit me up or hit Sharon up. And we can connect you, or just email the Mosaic email address, or DM us on Instagram. Just hit us up in some form or fashion, and we'll make sure to connect you.
Yeah, and MSA does have a Instagram account. So you know, if you follow us, we can always tag them and connect you or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it looked like there are a lot of questions about student organizations as well, specifically. So shout out to Campus Partners, Student Involvement. They're the department that actually organizes all the student organizations. So if you want to get more specific information about what a student organization, what qualifies as a student organization, they would have that information. Although, again, if you hit us up, we'll be sure to connect you. And there's a lot of student organizations that we do have great partnerships with. So in addition to MSA, you know, we've worked closely with MECHA, with SAHE, with Akbayan, with Black Student Union, you know, Black Men Collective, Black Women's Collective. So
organization.
Yeah, Sikh Student Organization, Indian Student Organization.
Kenny, you were about to say a student org?
Oh, SJP.
SJP, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And of course our Q&A and multiple different queer student orgs through our Pride Center.
Yeah, Q&A, Q-tip. So we definitely, yeah. So we've definitely worked with a lot of these student orgs. So if you have a student org question specifically about an org that you think, you know, we might be able to help answer, or you know, we work with, feel free to hit us up. You know, if it's something that we have a connection with, we'll connect you. If it's not, then we'll redirect you to the people that you need to talk to.
Yeah, and if you have any questions for our wonderful staff here, if you send Chris and I an email, or even to the Mosaic at SJSU, we can forward that email or that message to any of our cultural programmers or marketing team. So yeah, if you know, say you have a specific question for like Erica when she was talking about Mecha or Sahe or any of the million orgs that Erica's involved with, or even Tyrell, you know, talking about any of the different cultural performances or anything, and you need to get connected, feel free to connect with us, and we'll definitely forward you your message to them as well.
And since we are talking about campus partners, I want to do a quick shout out to some of our campus partners that are doing their webinars on Wednesday. The rest of the Solidarity Network, for the most part, aside from Wellness and Cesar Chavez, everyone else is going on Wednesday. So check out their webinars. That's Pride Center is going, Gender Equity Center is going, Chicanecki's Latinx Student Success Center is going, the African American Black Student Success Center is going, and the Indaki Spartan Resource Center are all going on Wednesday. So check out their webinars. They have a lot of cool information. They have a lot of great staff and great info as well.
And we'll probably take this recording and post it on our YouTube or webpage or something.
Yeah, we'll share it with the people we need to share it with. So you'll get it. It'll definitely be in our YouTube, and then we'll also share it through all the ASD stuff. So whatever that gets archived, I don't know. I'll send it to Drew. It'll go somewhere.
Yeah. There's 23 attendees. I don't know if there's any more questions or.
Does anybody on the panel have any final thoughts that they want to share?
Wait, what?
Does anyone on the panel have final thoughts they want to share?
Being at college.
I guess like a final thought for me is like kind of like, so I'm a fourth year, and like just kind of like reflecting on like my college experience, like I want to say that like Mosaic has been like a really large part in like not only just like developing myself as a person, but just like, you know, building community and like for the people I care about, because like everyone on this panel, like I care about them so much, and like I've like really fostered like a really like good relationship with people like on this panel and then off this panel. Like it's just like Mosaic's been a really big part in like my college experience.
I would say don't be afraid to go into these centers and these spaces, like us and the rest of the Solidarity Network. It could feel a little bit scary, but like everyone's friendly. And then like the earlier you kind of get involved, like the earlier you feel more welcome to San Jose State. I was really shy going into my like freshman year. I'm from Southern California, and I'm from 6 hours down south from San Jose. So it was really hard for me to like transition because I didn't know anyone and I didn't want to talk to anyone. But as soon as I got involved, it kind of helped me like get out of my shell and more comfortable and grow like more confident within myself and like all that. But yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same thing that Erica and Cynthia were saying. I'm a second year, so I'm relatively new as well. But my first semester, I kind of focused on like doing my own thing, like kind of like finding my space around. But then, not to hype up Leadership Today, but Leadership Today really like put like not Mosaic, but like a lot of like of cool stuff that I didn't know I was interested in on my map, I guess I should say. So like as soon as I went to the open mics and I thought that was cool, but I hadn't really like gone to like a program and like actually got involved. So as soon as I started like hanging out with the folks at Mosaic, getting involved in that way, like I was chilling. Like I found what I actually wanted to do. Like I decided to go into the major that I was actually passionate about. So like I don't know, like it's a lot of like people like they help you out with your questions. Like shout out to Erica. Like I would show up to her and be like, "Yo, explain this," and she'll be like, "I got you," and she'll like tell me what's going on. So like definitely like ask us the staff if y'all have any questions. Like we're always like able to answer not able to answer anything, but like willing to answer your questions. That really helped me a lot with finding my space and my judge here.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Like, once I found Mosaic and in college, I'm a third year, so I found it like at the end of my second year. I just was like, this is awesome. This is like the coolest place I've ever found. I can't believe this place is like a physical place in the student union. I can go, like, it exists like fully. So ever since I found it, I wanted to be a part of it more. And like working here, like everyone else said, has been probably one of the best experiences of college in general. So just meeting these people and getting connected on campus, not just for being connected on campus, but just like the people that are there, the people at San Jose State are amazing. And it's going to be awesome for y'all to come and see it and meet people. I'm excited.
For me,
I've,
like,
go ahead.
Okay. For me, going in my third year, I was still like trying to figure things out for myself and like where I belonged and like what space I wanted to like put myself into. So like when I found like the Mosaic position posted on the front of their center, I decided to go for it. And like it was like it's like honestly one of the best experiences that like has ever happened to me, because like I don't know, like I've been like to really like hype up like the whole like narrative sharing, and just learning about like where different people come from, their backgrounds and like what they're about, and just like, that really inspires me, and that really like helps me to like get more out there, and just I just aspire to like learn more, and like and because of all these perspectives that were like shared, I've gained like a lot more clarity in like where I want to put myself, and it's just great. Like don't be afraid to like put yourself out there. These spaces are here for you. So
yeah,
and you can be any major, any field that you're interested in. We welcome them. We welcome you all.
Yeah, it's definitely like grounded me. After everything that everyone has said, retweet, like I feel everyone's vibes, everyone's energy, even not physically being there, just like seeing these people through the screen right now, doing the bare minimum and just being here all together, like, is always the highlight of my week. Just having everyone's like unique energy and all the resources and the things that they're connected to, things that they're passionate about, is just like a really beautiful thing to see. And just like the community that all these people and like the center brings together, to me is just really awesome. And yeah, I would definitely visit our space, use it. Don't be afraid to ask questions and get connected with people. I first got involved with Mosaic because of Hip Hop for Change, but I was also doing some club work with Fresh Pressed, our screen printing club on campus, and that's when I met Sharon, and there was an opening for the social media position. So I was able to apply like the skills that I was learning through my major in graphic design into marketing, and I didn't really think I was like gonna use it that way, but things just kind of all came together for me. So I've gotten a lot of support for our staff, like through our staff, and like just being involved in different clubs and orgs. Just being able to make connections with people has been like the highlight of my college experience. Definitely tap in with us, follow our social media. We do playlists, podcasts. You guys have heard everything that we put out, but yeah, we welcome you with open arms, all the vibes.
All the vibes.
are here for you.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully y'all who are still here, have a wonderful time doing virtual Admitted Spartans Day. There's a bunch of cool stuff all week. So hopefully, you find good stuff to do.
Make up for all our lost time. 'Cause in my eyes, you were mine, you were mine. No matter where